Hello yogis, we are starting in our butterfly pose today. So we've got our heels together and nice and close towards the pelvis, pressing those knees towards the floor. Today we have some poses that are going to help release some period pain. So they're all focused in the hips and mostly the lower body. Coming into our folded butterfly, I'm bringing heels away from pelvis, taking a diamond-like shape with the legs. On the exhale, folding forward, keeping that spine nice and straight, landing the hands wherever feels comfortable for you. And slowly coming up, we're going to transition to our short stance lunge, coming forward with that left foot, left knee stacked on top of left ankle, and that back hip stacked on top of back knee. We're doing some pelvic tilts on the inhale, tilting through pelvis, and on the exhale, releasing, getting that stretch through that back hip flexor and through the quad muscle. And transitioning into our low lunge, so stepping that bit further forward, sinking the hips down. We're still aligning through the hips here, feeling a deeper stretch into that back hip flexor and quad muscle. You can have hands on hips or hands on front knee, whatever feels best. And coming into our pigeon pose, heel toeing that heel over to the right side. So my heel is basically underneath right hip. I'm centering through my hips before I lower down to elbows. You can stay up on hands or maybe use blocks. Another option here is to insert a bolster underneath that right or that left buttocks here. Slowly coming up, we are doing the same on the other side, starting with that short stance lunge. Right foot forward now. On the inhale, tucking through pelvis. On the exhale, release. And coming deeper into our low lunge, making sure that front knee is stacked on top of front ankle. You can use blocks here under hands to help with balance. And transitioning again into that pigeon pose, heel toeing that right heel over to left side. You can see here my left heel is nice and close underneath that hip. Deep bend through the knee, aligning through the hips before we lower down to elbows. Slowly coming up, we're going to lower down to our stomach, coming into our Sphinx pose, a little back bend here, engaging through the thighs and the glutes, navel to spine, pulling that chest forward, elbows underneath shoulders. And coming up to our downward facing dog. Just for a moment, pedaling out the feet to warm up through the hamstrings and calf muscles. And then we're going to walk feet towards hands, coming into our ragdoll. Feet are hip width distance apart, softening in the knees and clasping opposite elbows, really softening through that lower spine, allowing gravity to take the weight of our upper body here. And coming into our malasana, so our yogic squat. So I'm heel toeing my feet a little bit wider than hip width distance apart, heels slightly in, toes slightly out, sinking that tailbone down towards the floor. Can take an option here to take a seat on a block or a bolster. We're using those elbows to press knees away, really opening up through the hips. lowering down to a seat, and slowly coming down to our backs. Coming into our happy baby pose, knees nice and wide, feet nice and wide, grabbing the outer edges of those feet or maybe behind the ankles or the calf muscles, taking a rock side to side to really loosen into those hips and hamstrings, grounding through the spine. And we're going to take a supine twist, extending through that left leg, bending through right knee, bringing right knee over to opposite side with opposite hand, making sure both shoulder blades are grounded to the floor. And switching sides. And finishing up in our supine butterfly pose, heels together, allowing the knees to fall out naturally. Taking a few deep breaths to finish here. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.